Hey guys, welcome back to the Destination Percussion YouTube channel. My name is Destin Ramos, and I hope you had an awesome New Year so far. For myself, I'm going to talk a little bit about the new stuff that I've acquired in the past few months. I haven't been able to get to a lot of it because I've been busy with work because I have a full-time job teaching. For now, I want to talk about some of the things that I've acquired, the little stories behind it. So just give you a little bit of insight of what's going to come in the future. But before we get started with all of that, I want to give a huge giant shout out to all the people that have been supporting the channel from the beginning and the new people that have been supporting the channel. There's been about a 200 subscriber growth from the last time that I checked about a year ago, and I'm very excited for all those new people that are showing up and me being able to share what I do and what I love to do at that with other people. So thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much for sticking around and enjoying this kind of content. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the new things that are on the horizon for the channel.
First up, we have half of a late 70s Octopus kit that I got from my buddy Alex for $400. It came with the 6, 8, 10, 15, and 16-inch concert toms and a 14 by 24-inch kick drum. My jazz brain's immediately going wild because the size difference between this 24 and my 18 is ginormous. The toms are in really nice shape with all the wraps still intact. A little Meguiar's car wax would probably make them look even more nice. They also came with the original rockers heads, the silver dots. They're super cool. So if I had to guess, these heads probably have never been removed off of the drums since they were built. The kick drum in this set is the one that has all the issues. Other than the fact that the kick is covered in dust, it has a bunch of spots where the wrap's lifting up and tearing. The inlays on the batter side hoop also have this issue. Before making this video, the drum was missing the right side bass drum spur. I found another half-inch spur on eBay for $35. Lastly, these drums came with a late 70s Superphonic, and it's super pitted and dusty. It's the one laying on the bottom. The one upside down is from another deal. Speaking of free snare drums, one of the Christmas presents I received this year was a dusty old snare drum that my uncle had given to me. Thanks, Uncle Ben. Just what I always wanted. An old crusty ass snare drum. The throw off is bent, it's missing one tension rod, and it's filthy. Leave me some ideas down in the comments of what I should do with this drum. I'm not really sure what I should do with it at the moment. Now here's one a little bit more on the interesting side. This one is a Nikin snare drum from the 1960s. I paid about $50 for this one, but I'm just as clueless to the history as you are. But the story I know is that this old lady had sold it to my local music go-around. She had used this drum as a practice drum back in the day. So she probably didn't think that some dork on a YouTube channel was going to make some kind of cleanup video on her drum 60 years later. The lug casings give me the Slingerland vibes. They also give me the Rogers vibes, probably copied off of both. The throw off is currently throwing me off because it's like a weird Gretsch. We'll find out if it works well or if it breaks when I take it apart later. Also features the Nikin spaghetti wires and whatever the hell this thing is. This drum actually used to belong to my best friend Daniel. This is a Yamaha Stage Custom Steel snare drum. It's a 6.5 by 14. He's actually the guy that played the slow motion cymbal in one of my videos. The lugs started to break off on the inside of the drum, but instead of throwing it away, he gifted it to me instead. Thanks, Daniel. I've since broken one of the lugs myself, so now half the lugs are functional on this drum. I really want to use this as a project so I can make my own snare drum lugs. This is a 1950s 8 by 15 WFL Festival Concert Snare.
She's a biggin'.
Scored this baby on eBay for $100. Also scored some hoops for this drum for an extra $30 around the same time. I'm guessing she had a big fall back in the day. She landed directly on the throw off. There's a big giant indent in the wood on the side. On the inside of the drum, it's cracked and it started to separate the wood plies. We'll have to fix this drum, put it back together, and put a new snare strainer on it. The last snare drum is the holy grail of all the finds today. However, I don't want to spoil the surprise, but I do have a big restoration video coming up in the future. Let's see who can guess what this drum is. I'm going to flash it up on the screen in 3, 2, 1. Any guesses of what this is? Leave them down in the comments. I'd love to know what you think this is. Next is a Yamaha Tour Custom bass drum and rack tom. The kick is a 14 by 20 and the rack tom is a 9 by 13. The shells are mahogany birch. Someone had brought these into the store trying to sell them with missing parts, and the person just decided to donate them because the store didn't want them. They had belonged to Texas Wesleyan University in Fort Worth, Texas. What's really funny is that I looked at the tom mount and I saw this little label and it said Drum Set 2 on it. One of my first colleges that I had studied at, I had studied with Derek Legozzo out at Richland College in Dallas, Texas. And he used to put the same exact label on every single drum that was in the studio. I texted him and I asked him if he knew where these drums were from because he had taught at that school before. And lo and behold, he instantly remembered seeing those drums before. Now I have them, and then I'll clean them up and use them in my jobs practice studio. What are the odds of something like that even happening? Now we have some free books I was given. These came from the back of the music go-round. They had a bunch of books laying in the back, and I just asked, and lo and behold, I shall receive, right? The first book we have is the Nard drum solo book. I'm thinking of playing these solos and putting them on my Instagram, maybe on my YouTube Shorts content, posting them somewhere. I think that would be kind of cool. And I also got one of these Garwood Whaley snare drum books. Good sight reading stuff for my students. We also have a Led Zeppelin drum transcription book. If you want to nerd out on what Bonham played on this list of songs, then this is the book for you. I don't even know if it's in print anymore. Some of these songs are ingrained in my head already, so I'm gonna have to look through these and make sure that these are accurate.
Hey, why ain't you running?
I can't read.
Get out of here.
Then we have a pile of super old vintage sticks. Some of these sticks are brand new and they've never been used before. Here's a pair of Ludwig Joe Morellos in here. They have a nylon tip on them. 3 sealed pairs of Regal Tip JD Carlotto sticks. Brand new pair of 7/8H Jazz 5 sticks. Then my favorite of them all is this brand new pair of Louis Bellson ProMark signature sticks. These are surprisingly heavy with a nylon tip. I'm curious to know what wood they're made out of because they're super dense. Apparently they're made in Japan, so I'll have to do a little bit more research into this one. Drop it down in the comments if you know anything about these. Now, I bought a pile of old A's for about $75, and there's nothing special about these. However, when I was looking in there, yeah, right? And then here we have a K Istanbul from the 30s or 40s. Incredible. And some of you might be like,
Stop, don't play that cymbal.
but I intend on playing this as a hi-hat top. And I have some jazz tunes I want to play on Instagram with this thing. So that's super perfect for it. Trust me, I'm not playing blast beats on these. So you don't have anything to worry about. And like I said in the beginning, this is all just a sneak preview of what is to come later on. Some of this stuff I have no idea what I'm going to do with, but if you have any suggestions or just anything at all that you might want to contribute to the channel with, please leave it down in the comments. I'd love to know what you got to say about any of this. And that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one very soon.